multi-step equations today. And really, most of the equations we see today are going to be two-step equations. Okay? So I'm going to give you a list of steps that we're going to take no matter what. Okay? So the first thing I want you to look for, do we have any parentheses that we need to distribute? There may not be parentheses, bless you. We may not need to distribute, but if there are, then we need to do that first. Okay. It is possible that we need to combine like terms. It might not need to happen, but we need to be on the lookout for it. Because if we have like terms on the left side, we need to combine them. If we have like terms on the right side, we need to combine them. Okay. Okay. Now, we're going to have variables and constants. So I don't care which side, but you need to move variables to one side. And then you need to move your constants to the other side. Okay? Now you can pick, my x is always going to go on the left side. But sometimes we may want it on the right side because the math is going to be easier that way. But if you really like your variables on the left side, you go for it. Sometimes, maybe we'll go to the right side. Okay. You're then going to be to the point where you have maybe a coefficient in front of x that we're going to need to divide by. Now our variable is by itself. Okay, so some of these problems are going to be pretty straightforward. Some of these I want to really have some conversations about what things we need to do first and why. Okay, so go ahead and turn to page 10 once you have this written down. Okay, and what I'm going to have you do, because I believe in you, I'm going to have you and your elbow partner, essentially, see if you can work through number 1 and 2 to get the answers of 5 and 2. Ready, set, go. Work together. So dividing by the coefficient here. Okay, so when we wrote our steps down, we wrote down that dividing by the coefficient, we need to variable that. You did that with graph or something we need to do to divide by. I'd say we do the whole top for the I am not a bimbo. Because then you also get 15 divided by 2. constants on both sides. We need to take that 4 and move it over. So it's not 4. Okay, we're going to come together and we're going to talk about these two problems. Okay? Now, what we need, well, we don't need to distribute and we don't have any like terms to combine. But what we need are x's on one side and constants on the other side. So I really only see a problem with constants, right? I see a constant on both sides. So which side should we put our constants on?
The left. Right.
We should put them on the right side because on the left we already have a variable. Okay? So how do I move this plus 4? What are we going to do, Ella?
Subtract 4 from the left side and subtract 4 from the right side.
Okay, we're going to subtract 4 from both sides so that we have 3x equals 15. Now that we have just a variable with a coefficient equaling a constant, we can divide both sides by 3 to get x equals 5. Okay, Joey.
So I got the correct answer except for that part. I just put the constants on the left side.
And you moved the x's to the other side?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, that was just extra work, but that's fine.
you do technically get the same.
You do technically get the same answer. You are right. Okay, so let's look at number 2. Is number 2 very, very similar to number 1?
No. Yes and no.
Yes and no. There's a lot of similarities. Zoe, what's the first thing we'll need to do?
Add 13 on both sides.
I think that's a good idea. Let's add 13 to both sides. So now we have our variables on the left side. We have our constants on the right side. And now we can divide by that coefficient to get z equals 2. Okay. Yes or no? Advanced Math 7, we've seen problems like that. Okay.
I've seen this in 6th grade.
And maybe in 6th grade. Cool. All right. Let's go and look at number 5. I like number 5. Is there anything we can distribute? Just yes or no?
No.
Is there's parentheses we can distribute?
No.
No. Okay. Vivi's just really excited for our next step. Is there any like terms we can combine on the left side or the right side?
5 and 9. Negative 9.
Oh, those aren't on the same side though. So when I say combine like terms, that would be if I had like plus 4 and I could like take those two together. Okay? But, Joey, you are right. We need that 5 to be over with the 9. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So, Vivi, I know you're really excited about this. How are we going to get the 5 over there?
You're going to add 5 to the left side and then add 5 to the right.
Good. So we have f over 4 equals negative 4. Now, some of you are at a point where you don't show me the next step. You just have the answer, right? And that's fine, okay? I know that we can do, some of us can do this in our head. Some of us really like to show it. What are we going to do to both sides?
Multiply by 4.
Thank you, Joey. So we get f equals negative 16. Is it possible for us to know if we have the right answer? Yeah, even before you check the answer key. Because you can say, oh, hey, I can plug negative 16 in. F divided by 4 Negative 16 divided by 4 is negative 4. Minus 5 is negative 9. Check. Got it right. Okay. Now, go look at number 6. Number 6 is different than number 5. Do you see how the division is and the addition is in a different order? Okay. First of all, I don't like q plus negative 5. I think that's really ugly. So if it were me, I would rewrite it like this. I would distribute that positive to the negative 5 and write it as subtraction just to make my algebra easier. Okay. Now, in this situation, okay, let's vote. Do we need to move the 3 first or the 5? Raise your hand if we need to move the 3 first. Raise your hand if we need to move the 5 first. Okay, we have about half and half right now. Whatever is the closest to the variable is going to need to be moved last. So who's closer to the variable? 3 or 5? 5 is closer to the variable, which means it doesn't move yet. The 3 is furthest away. It needs to move first. How are we going to undo the 3? Okay, it's being divided, so we're going to need to multiply both sides by that 3 to get rid of it. Okay, whichever number is furthest away from the variable has to be moved first. Okay, now what can we do to get rid of the 5? We're going to add 5 to both sides. How do we feel about that? Okay, I want you to look at the differences between number 5 and 6. Okay, why we did the addition first and then the multiplication in number 5 versus we did the multiplication and then the addition in number 6. Just want you to really look at the difference between those two. Okay. All right. Let's go to number 9. Let's finally get more than steps 3, 4, and 5 here. Okay? Gosh, I don't know why I keep doing that. Okay. Here we don't have any distributing to do, but what do we have? We have terms. We have 12x and 2x that we can combine. So we can combine like terms. CLT, combine like terms, okay, to where we can put these together as 14x plus 4 equals 39. Eva, what are we going to do next? You betcha. Now we can subtract 4 from each side, so that 14x equals 35. Now here's something that I noticed some of you were not loving in our warm-up. Now that you're in algebra, we are not going to write mixed numbers. Repeat after me. I will not write a mixed number. I know it feels weird, but we're past that. Okay? We are going to write improper fractions. So right here, when we divide by 14, yes, I know 35 over 14 is an improper fraction. We're going to leave it. Well, we're going to leave it, but simplified. Can we simplify this fraction?
Yes.
Okay, 7 can go into both of those. So if we simplify this fraction, we would write it as 5/2. So you're either writing 2.5 or you're writing 5/2, but you are not going to tell me 2 1/2 as a mixed number. Okay? Okay. All right, how about you work on number 10? You try number 10. Ready, set, go.
It's the same thing, 9z plus 4z is also 9.
What's wrong? Is 0? We see 0. Are you freaking out? No? Did you get like a little bit worried about your answer? No. Okay.
When you combine like terms, you could do subtraction, right? Because there's subtraction signs.
Yeah. Yeah, so when you're on the same side of the equal sign, you do the operation it says. So 9z minus 4z is 5z.
So do you always go off the number to the right? So you'll go off of, so let's say next to 9z was an addition sign.
So like, this is a positive, this is -5, that is minus 4z. So whatever is in front of it is the operation.
So since the subtraction sign is in front of 4z, does that mean?
That means it's being subtracted with the 9z.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so then we have add 5 to both sides so that 5z equals 0. Can we take 0 divided by 5? Yes, we get 0. What is the thing with 0 we cannot do?
A number on top of 0.
Okay, we cannot divide by 0. Please don't try to do that. Okay? Okay. All right, let's go to the next page and look at number 11. Yay, number 11. Now we can finally do step 1 of our 5-step process, okay? Do you see parentheses in which we can distribute? Okay, the distributive property is when we take a number multiplied to a quantity and we apply it to the whole quantity. So we have 3 times z and 3 times 7. What? Man, our textbook really likes the number 0 today, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Did not plan this.
Today's 0 days in the textbook.
Okay, so now do we need to combine any like terms on the left side? No. We have nothing to combine. We can go straight to, okay, we need all the constants to be together. And when we put the constants together, we get 3z equals 0. What? Okay. Okay, thinking aloud is always good. Except on a test. $24. She's so bored already. So if we're counting down, it's 7 minutes. Okay. We're going to look at number 13, and number 13 makes me a little nervous for some of you. Why am I a little bit nervous about number 13?
It's backwards.
Because of that negative. Okay, so first of all, our variables are on the right side. We're distributing a -3, and I'm really worried about you going too fast and not paying attention to that. So when we distribute, this -3 gets distributed. So we have 12R minus 27. What's this product?
Negative 3R. Minus 3R.
Plus 3R.
Oh, negative times a
-3 times a -R is going to be a positive 3R. Negative times a negative is a positive.
So technically, if there's a keep change.
Keep change doesn't go with this.
But it's close.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now, do we have like terms to combine?
Yes.
We sure do. We can take our 12R and 3R. That plus is the operation. Okay. So we have 15R minus 27. What? Joey, do you have a question?
I was like,
Okay. Now, here is a situation where I don't think it is a good idea to put the variables on the left side. We already have our variables on the right side with a constant, and we have a constant on the left side. So it is going to be time efficient for us if we say, okay, 15R is going to stay on the right side, and we're just going to add 27 over. So we have 15R equals 60. Okay. Now we can divide by 15 so that R equals. Okay.
4 equals R. That's 4 equals 4.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. As we're Joey.
Technically, if that was a negative 3R, would that technically be 9R?
If it was minus 3R, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Ella.
Do you care if we put R equals 4 and 4 equals R?
Yes.
No, I do not.
Sorry, I missed it.
I am very flexible. As long as you have the answer, with the work shown, I'm pretty good. I kept it like this because my R was here, so I just kept it here. But if you write R equals 4, that's totally fine. Okay? I'm not going to be super picky about that right now. Okay? I do think it's a good idea to show your steps. I know that eventually we'll get to a place where we don't have to show every single step, but I have to see work. Okay? Eventually, this is something that you wouldn't necessarily have to write. This is something that you wouldn't necessarily have to write, but I at least need to see the blue. And I think as we're getting into the swing of algebra, showing the orange steps is a good idea. Bare minimum blue, I think orange is a good idea. Okay. All right. So our homework, very much like yesterday, is going to come from a textbook page. So not in your student journal, but it's going to be on Google Classroom. If you want to just write down the problems, they're right here, or you can just look in Google Classroom. Okay. Tomorrow we'll have a graded assignment. That'll be the first grade in the grade book. Okay.